Hello, everyone.
Hi.
What's up, Kels?
What is it?
Good gracious. Now, we've spent so much time with each other over the past 2 months, and then for maybe 3 weeks, this past 3 weeks, we had not seen each other at all.
I'm in withdrawal.
We have been busy,
I need some Kendra and Kel time.
we have been busy running the streets of Georgia and
Virginia.
Virginia. I was in Massachusetts and New York, and then I was with you for a little bit, and then Chicago. So we have been
We were
crisscrossing.
in Texas. We were in South Carolina.
We are doing the things, and all the while, stuff is happening in this country. And today is going to be a very, very good conversation, timely, serious, and at the same time empowering. And so I want to save the space um, for people who are just going through it right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be even more real as people have already gone without a paycheck this past 2 weeks. They're going to go without a paycheck probably again this weekend. We're looking at potentially pausing in SNAP benefits for our most vulnerable population in this country. And and guess what? Will have daylight savings time this weekend. So it's like time's gonna the day is gonna feel longer, as well as this feels like the longest year on the planet Earth.
I'm going to be in bed at 4. It always happens. It always happens. Yeah. I mean, and I live in a pretty rural area. And you add on top of that too, things that are happening to the farmers and in rural areas and rural schools and rural education has their own issues and what's happening to our rural hospitals and everything else. And it's just, I mean, this conversation around shift is so timely because it feels like we're doing every day, right?
Yeah.
I'm going in this direction. No, I'm not. I'm going in this direction. No, not. No. And so what does that look like? And what does that look like when we need to do it? But what does it also look like in a healthy way?
Yeah, and you can see, Kennard, thank you for your comments already. We want this to be engaging. So if you are listening, if you are watching and you're able to type in the chat and send us some notes and some questions, let's do that because this is serious. And as you can see, Kennard saying, thank you for bringing sensitivity to this time and so respectful for this work. And we are happy to have one of our sisters in this work who has been a pioneer and an encourager, a staunch supporter of public education. And we're going to introduce her in just a moment. But I also just want to take the time to, again, acknowledge people who are going through it right now, who are in desperate need. And as much as we can, in your respective cities, your counties, there's elections coming up, vote with your fingers here, vote with your feet, and also help if you can, if you're blessed to be able to provide. Food banks are looking for donations. They're going to be more than needing because their shelves are already starting to be depleted. Clothing as we get close to winter time. So people are going without. If you have a friend or neighbor that you know who's in need, have dinner because they're probably not going to be able to have any. It might be time to pull resources and help keep some light bills on for some folks. Do the things that we know how to do that we used to do back in the day. Dr. Bro, I know you listen in the background. We used to have rent parties. Rent parties. The jar would be there. Some DJs playing, somebody's frying some chicken, and you put money in the jar. Okay. We gotta go back to things that we sort of known. It's unfortunate we have to do that, but I also want to illuminate that we can help each other and we need to help each other at this time. And we can't be silent. We can't be silent about this, right? We help each other, but we can't be silent. Election day is on the 4th. Let's, if you don't agree, you use the power of the vote to share. So let's kind of get into it. Let me introduce our featured uh, uh, guest today, because Dr. Rowe has been, like I said, instrumental in our work. Hopefully, we've been instrumental in her work. But I'm going to bring her on, and I'm going to have you watch her face as I read her bio, because sometimes we talk about this, and I have to credit Principal Kafele for this, because he always reads the full bios of his guests, giving them the credit where credit is due, giving them their flowers in the moment. And I appreciated that he did it for us, and we pay it forward by doing it for others. So I want to please have you all welcome Dr. Rowe. As she comes on, put some love in the chat. A little thumbs up. Hey, I see Dr. Farron is on. My friend Valerie Kennard. Just give some love. There's someone else here, but I don't know her name. So just give some love. But so Dr. Rowe, just sit there.
Hi, Dr. Rowe.
Just,
Hey,
just
hey,
sit
ladies.
there and take sit there and take this. Here we
You
go.
know I'm so not into reading my bio and
Yes,
You don't have to read it.
listen.
let me follow instructions. Let me
You sit. You sit, as my grandmother said. You sit your narrow tail down right there.
Well, mine ain't narrow.
I ain't want to go there, but you know it. I'll just, we can all wish. All right, let's do it. Okay, Dr. Royan Patrick Hendricks, affectionately known as Dr. Rowe, is a leadership and education consultant with nearly 30 years of experience in offering consultancy services worldwide. She is a highly respected figure, for sure, in education and personal development industries, impacting leaders, teachers, and organizations. Dr. Rowe has bottled up her passions, her gifts, her talents, and purpose into growing a consulting firm, impacting schools, organizations, and communities and government. She serves as the CEO and editor-in-chief of the Thrive Empowerment Minds magazines. Dr. Rowe is passionate about empowering leaders and communities to reach their greatest potential through her authentic approach to personal and professional development. She leverages her unique ability to encourage and motivate others through her own personal stories of overcoming life's obstacles and tragedies, as well as her successes. Again, with nearly 30 years of experience, hold on, as a teacher, a school district administrator, adjunct professor in higher education, nonprofit director, entrepreneur, proud mommy. The kids are grown, but she's still a mama. And favorite auntie, too many. She brings a unique perspective to helping others find joy and leveraging personal attributes and gifts to lead organizations with equity, inclusion in mind. This joy permeates beyond throughout Dream Education Consulting and how she offers her services. So let's start with the acronym DREAM. Dr. Rowe, empowering all minds. DREAM offers a wide range of services to schools, organizations, communities, and government, and they include, again, leadership development, inclusive solutions, program development, empowerment, and youth and family support services. She uses a culturally and responsive, authentic, and practical approach. Dr. Rowe has served and impacted countless leaders, organizations, and communities through her speaking, coaching, and dream education consulting services. Last but not least, Dr. Rowe has been recognized by many organizations for her special education advocacy, leadership development efforts, and spearheading purposeful partnerships for collective community impact. Her services extend beyond guiding the development of dream education. As a musician, did you bring the clarinet? That's all I want to know. As a musician, she has been a member of several music ensembles in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Chicago, and Minnesota, and is currently a clarinetist with the McKinney Symphonic Band. She's an affiliate and member of several organizations serving communities, including Tau Beta Sigma National Honorary Band Sorority Incorporated, Continental Societies Incorporated, Kappa Delta Phi Honor Society in Education, and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Her greatest accomplishments are her adult children, Michael Jr. and Maya Royan. Yay, please, everyone, welcome Dr. Rowe.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My daughter's name is Mia, but
Mia, I'm so sorry.
Mia
Royan. Thank you.
Why did you have to reiterate 30 years of experience? And then she turned the page, Kelly. 30 years.
30.
30 of them.
Math ain't math to know because I'm about 32, 33.
I know.
So look how that works.
You started at 2 years old.
Thank you. Thank you. It is such a pleasure to be here. I'm deeply honored that you all called me to come hang out with you tonight.
Well, thank you so much. So Kelly's
going to feel about that in 45 minutes.
That's right. Let's do it. Kelly's going to kick us right off. We're going to get right into it, Dr. Rowe.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Rowe. You know, let me just say one thing before, and I know how sometimes that can feel uncomfortable when somebody's reading but when that, how often does that happen? You know, just embrace those moments. And I had someone say to me recently who just got a huge award. She said, when I was sitting there and they were reading my bio and all the things, what it said to me was, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. It was just so affirming for her. She said, why am I chasing all this other stuff when this is the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing? So sometimes we don't sit to listen to that. Mm-hmm. And so just take all that in for yourself. Okay, so we're going to start with the question that we always start with.
Yes.
And that is, when you think of the word unwrapped, what does that word mean for you in this season of your life and in your leadership life?
Ooh, that's such a good question. When I think of unwrapped and me being unwrapped, I immediately just think about a present, right? And so I think about a present. I think about the gifts and the talents that God has given us. So I reflect on those gifts and know that it is so important for me to stay healthy, so I can unwrap those gifts, uncover those gifts, not only for me to use them, but also use them to inspire and to empower others. That's what I think about.
And I'll say that you have absolutely embodied the gift. So you all, I've read her bio, but what you don't know is that we did like education crushing on LinkedIn, right? When you find someone and you scrolling like, whatever she's saying resonates, or that thing resonates, and we began sort of this conversation through LinkedIn. And as a result of that conversation, Kelly and I have had a chance to meet you virtually for almost 2 years now.
Yep.
And then for the first time, we saw your legs. For the first time this summer, we saw the rest of her body. Because Dr. Rowe sponsors, creates, imagines an experience. She doesn't call it a conference, and she's right. It's an experience for women in leadership to come together and share their gifts. I think you sort of put people together in a room and you help them make the magic happen. So to hear you talk about thinking about it as a gift, I hope you also thinking about yourself as the gift, because you've created so many spaces for people to grow and to feel their joy. And you are really a good supporter and empower. I mean, you always giving props and keeping us uplifted. Like sometimes Kelly and I are like, good God, it's hard out there in the streets. And you like, y'all doing it. And I'm like, we are. Thank you. Feel like it. And I hope you feel the same with us. We're like, you doing it. We are. I don't know. So just wanted to make sure that people understood that outside of that bio, there's more to our relationship as we continue to grow it, which is why we wanted your voice.
Thank you. Thank you. And when you think about unwrapping your gifts and your presence, and you walk boldly in that, it attracts.
That's right.
It attracts what the universe needs for you to have to continue your journey, but then it also repels.
Yes.
And both are equally important. You know what I mean? I'm attracting people because I mean, you can't pull off a conference. I can't pull off walking in my purpose alone. Like, who does that? I used to could think that I could do it though. Like by myself, I don't need nobody. I can do it myself, and it's my ideas, and it's my ideas alone. Absolutely not. So I'm just thankful, for those that have come alongside me to do the work that I'm doing.
Love it.
Yeah. So let's talk about the work, and we're going to ground it in this with this lens. I'm going to make a really good assumption that the people who are listening or who are watching are up to date on their data. And just know that this year alone, more than 300,000 Black women since January have lost their jobs. Now, I'm saying that specifically. I'm calling out Black women because many of those jobs were either federal jobs that people assumed were DEI jobs, but maybe they were in name, chief diversity officers or particular positions to help organizations to be more inclusive and to make sure that their organizations are healthy and attuned to well-being. And under the current administration, through the sort of making it lean, you had 300,000 Black women plus exit the workforce. Sometimes jobs they've held for long periods of time. These are not just women. These are women in C-suite positions. So we out here trying to figure out how to take those gifts. And so when you hear the word shift, which is why we wanted to do a play on the word, like it's a seismic shift, it's a shift, but shift happens. So what does it mean for you professionally and for you personally to shift? And on top of that, think about moments where you've shifted. Sometimes maybe you didn't want to shift, right? There's 300,000 women out there who had a shift, and some of it would have been right on time. I know for me, I had my shift. It was right on time. I needed to do what I did in order to be who I am. So what does it mean for you in this shifting? And give us a little sneak peek into who you are and when you shifted.
Yeah.
You weren't always CEO of Dream Consulting.
No.
Right.
No, I didn't wake up like this. Right. And so it's just so important for all of us to understand where you are wherever you are standing, wherever you are sitting, whatever it is that you're experiencing. It's just so important to understand who you are. And so when you think about shifting in the past, I would think if I have to change something I'm doing, that means I must not be doing something right. If I have to stop and I have to take a detour, maybe I shouldn't be doing it. But what about the thoughts of I am supposed to be doing this? And the challenges that I am facing are helping to strengthen me in this walk, to build the resilience that I need. Yeah. So things may happen. Divorce may happen. Kids may grow up and leave will happen, right? Change in government administration may happen. But it's so important for you to understand. It has been so important for me to understand who I am and not waver. Right. Not waver on the emotions that I might have that would make me truly go in a direction that I don't need to go. And so a few years ago, I was in a position, I just didn't know where to go with my emotions. And I fell victim to my own self with my emotions. So how did I deal with that? Alcohol. Alcohol. And so horrible experience happened with that. I mean, actually, I ended up on life support because I literally drunk myself to death.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Rowe.
Yes. So there has been a total shift in my attitude about what I may be experiencing, how I deal with my emotions, who I keep around me, who I need around me, and to understand that regardless of whatever shifts may occur in the environment externally or internally, I have to remember what we talked about, unwrapping gifts, those gifts and those talents. So whatever is going on in the world, I lean on who I am and whose I am to make it through, and understand what I need to do and who I need to be around, right? And leverage all of those factors for me to continue on a healthy path while people with me.
Yeah.
And being transparent, because other people may be experiencing something else. Maybe it's not alcohol, maybe it's something else.
Right.
And so in whatever space I'm in, I just know that whatever I am shifting or what needs to be shifted, just being really true to who I am and being transparent and supporting others in what they may be experiencing.
Yeah. Here's another comment. 300,000 solution-oriented women who will be instrumental in shifting our nation back to ... Right? So just even thinking about your shift didn't happen this year. Your shift happened, and what happened while you were shifting. I think the other thing that you also mentioned is the who's with you, right? The community that you create. And I think, as some of those women who might be listening and tuning in either live or recording, they are part of that 300,000.
Absolutely.
What do you say to them, Dr. Rowe? What words can you say to those women about this moment of shift?
Understand yourself, understand your power, unleash it, unleash your power, and know that this is just a moment in time. So do we want to do something that may impact the future drastically based on what you may be feeling right now? Even if the times are unprecedented, like right now.
Yeah.
Just understanding who you are and just move forward. But know that you cannot do it alone, regardless if it's professionally or personally.
Right.
Because how often do women put on this mask? I mean, getting geared up in the car, getting geared up just to go into work, to put on this mask for the next 8-10 hours, essentially.
Yeah.
Drive home maybe 30 minutes, spend time with the kids or your husband, maybe another 30 minutes, and then you go to sleep. So you're spending more waking hours with a mask on. And over time, you know what that does? You wake up, you look in the mirror like, well,
who that?
Who are you? Who are you? And outside of a title or a standard that someone or the society has placed on you, moving past that.
Right.
But really understanding who you are and who you're not. And regardless if it hurts to move forward, to shift, to detour, to take a left, to do a 360, spin around, go around the block 3 times. It's okay to go around the block 3 more times, right? As long as you are being you. Yep. But that's crucial. I had learned to understand that those are crucial times for me. And I hear you say shift with like singular, plural. And I'm always shifting. Something may happen tonight when we get off this call.
Right.
In the morning, we may have to make a drastic shift. So shifts happen all the time, either professionally or personally. We just have to know who we are, who we belong to, have an established tribe, a very nurturing tribe, and a tribe that you're pouring into as well, and not
Right.
just take, I need, you give. Because if we keep those gifts, those presents, those talents and skills to us, it's going to prevent somebody else.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
remember one of the featured speakers at the conference last month was walking around in that ballroom and said, what if you had stopped planning this event? Where would we be?
Yep.
And so when it's hard, you got to understand why you're doing it, and it's going to be hard. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be a leader. We're talking about women in leadership, women in these CEO positions and executives, right? Absolutely.
This one other thing I want to say, and then I know Kelly has a question to ask you about like leading through this, but I was with some colleagues, and one of my peers said the following, and I have been pondering this, and that is, she said, you know, what you do right now, what you set in motion right now will come true in 5 years. So think about where you are right now. 5 years ago, you put something in motion that led you to where you were today. And I think about that, Kelly, and I'm like, 2020, you and me, September on Zoom, I'm having a moment. And that set in motion what we do right now. And I just, it seems like, oh, that's a duh, but it is amazing. I mean, I don't think I've ever thought of it that way. So Kelly, I'm gonna pass it to you because I know you have this.
Well, and you and I both had experienced a pretty big shift right before that.
Yes.
If those shifts had not occurred, we would not be here today.
Right. Yes.
We would still be where maybe we were comfortable, but we were small.
Right.
And we were in everybody else's shadow. And we were lifting up other people who could not be lifted up without us.
Correct.
And as Dr. Rowe is speaking, I am just thinking of so many parallels, around shifts, around your personal story with your shift, and how you so vulnerably and courageously talked about when you're not dealing with those emotions, it's not benign. They have to go somewhere, and they're either going to go somewhere that's healthy or somewhere that's not healthy for us. I think about where our country is right now, and we are in the middle of a big shift, but we were also metastasizing. And what keeps me going is the fact that as much as people are suffering and are going to suffer, is that this shift, when we come out of it in some way, shape, or form, that we are stronger in some ways. We are better defining who we want to be as a people. So I think about our strengths in that, that there's a lot of things that are strong about our country, that maybe we'll get back to those, and those will lead us. And so, Dr. Rowe, when we think about strengths, you've done a lot. You've been in the classroom, you've been in the district, you've been a CEO. And so when you think about those shifts, I want you to think just a minute about your leadership muscle. Another way to describe that are your leadership strengths. When you think about your leadership strengths, talk first in general about what were the strengths or those muscles that really helped serve you in navigating those shifts.
I would say my level of empathy that I have grown to have. That level of empathy is so important as a leader. Very often we become leaders, we feel like, ooh, we've arrived. And I remember one of my first leadership positions as an assistant principal. Okay, I got the job and I'm looking at all these other adults. It was like 65 or 70 of them, looking for me. And so I believe it was at that moment, and I was in 2006, 7, around in there, that I had started to look at myself and think about the flaws that I had that I needed to rid myself of to be able to lead these people, to where they needed to be and where the students needed for them to be in a very empathetic and compassionate way.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge sports fan, but I distinctly remember Troy Aikman came to a school that I was at, right? I knew he was coming. And just before then, a teacher had asked for time off. And I'm looking, well, what do you need time off? Well, I'm going to the Cowboys game. And I'm thinking, well, why are you so excited to get off of work for that? But then I just signed it, with disdain. And then later on, I had to think, she's an amazing teacher. She never takes off, right? Anytime I would have to take off because I have kids or maybe something else is going on, she never takes off. And so in my embracing of being culturally responsive instruction, and then I went on to culturally responsive leadership, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, well, it's in her culture to be a diehard Cowboys fan. Right? So who the heck do I think I am to, kind of shun her request to take off, right? So fast forward maybe a few months later, Troy Aikman happened to be in the building. He was there for an event of the school. And she had her number 9 seat from the Texas Stadium where they were giving the seats away. And I went to her and I said, hey, I'm going to keep your kids. I've already told Mr. Aikman downstairs that one of his favorite fans is here.
She almost fell out.
And I held her class so she can go and see him. And she was just like, oh my gosh. So now fast forward a couple of more months later, I'm doing this full-blown professional development session. I like to get real theatrical, yet authentic, right? I had to share my experience as a leader, that whole experience. I said, I'm teaching being culturally responsive in the classroom with students and teachers. And here it is, that was my moment to show my level of inclusivity and cultural responsiveness, right? And I had to share that story. There were tears, you know what I mean? And so just having that level of vulnerability, authenticity, and empathy and compassion as we lead, that is so important, because very often a lot of us do forget that you're human and the people that you're leading are human. So ensure that you offer a humanistic approach to everything, that you do. It's not about titles and degrees and certifications. Anybody can have that, right? But when you can lead with a big old heart and not forget that you're human too, you gain a huge amount of respect for those that you are leading. And it will encourage them to become leaders in their own right.
Follow-up question though, Kels, for a moment.
Yep.
Like, where does that come from, Dr. Rowe? You're talking about, and we have a section we want to talk to you about the human side of shifting in just a moment. But what captured my attention is sort of the way you're talking. That comes from somewhere. And the reason I want to frame it in this case, in this moment, that might be hard for people to hear when they are being hurt or they are suffering, to be able to go, it's a lesson you're going to learn, right? Just lean in. I mean, Kanara was like, lean it in. Like, how do you push through this though? I mean, how did you push through it? Like, what's your testimony around that?
I mean, I just think I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to be great because greatness raised me and greatness raised them. Our whole lineage is great. And I just truly do believe I have a responsibility to that, and also extend whatever greatness I do have to others so they can be great. in their own right.
Yeah.
I want to keep going, and I want to bounce off of something you said around. We know that at Dream you center both empowerment and inclusion,
Mm.
and that's a really charged word right now. And in fact, I think a lot of those 300,000 Black women that lost their job, not all of them, are the result of organizations not really knowing or understanding in making inclusion a part of their DNA, where it wouldn't have been so easy to get rid of them. Rather, it was performative. Not that they were performative, but that the organization itself saying, "Oh, well, we have a Black woman in charge of inclusion. Okay, yeah, check off that box. Yeah, we're doing inclusion," rather than it really being a part of the culture. So talk a little bit around this big shift that around inclusion, in particular, and how does an organization, and Kendra and I have experienced this with the school districts we've been talking to, because we focus a lot on women, DEI, right? Okay, even my women, I have to tell them sometimes that they are DEI.
You are so funny.
It's true.
Can you explain that?
Yeah.
Yes, white women, you are DEI. And actually, if you look at the data, you actually are advantaged more than any group because of DEI
That's
practices
right.
and policies. Period. Full stop. Do not argue with me.
That's why I love y'all, because y'all keep it so real. And
I'm the data head.
If we're going to talk about solutions, and I don't have all the solutions, I don't have all the answers, but what we can talk about is our experiences. What we can talk about is what's real. What we can talk about is the data, be it qualitative or quantitative, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's something that you all always bring to the table, the screen, the place, is that level of authenticity and your truth. So thank you. Y'all wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, and that also comes when you finally put down, you unwrap.
Thank you.
Especially for me, that I can say things that I don't have the need to be liked anymore. You don't have to like what I say, and you don't have to like me for saying it, but I have to say it because it's just the truth, or the data says that. So, it is what it is. So go back to the inclusion piece. So as we're thinking about organizations and the organizations you work with and the groups you work with and the school districts you work with, and they're making this shift, I wouldn't say they're making a shift away from inclusion. They're trying to figure out how do they still do it, but maybe they don't call it that, or they call it something else. So talk a little bit about, that whole idea around what shifts do organizations need to make if they really want to live in their values around making sure everyone, because it's not about belonging. Right. I don't want to belong. I want to be included.
This is, it's just so important that employees, I'll say employee, understand the culture of an organization and what they stand for. And you can easily understand what that is in being an organization for a very short time.
Sure.
So if you're Black and you're probably the only Black person in a C-suite or in executive leadership, if they're asking you, well, do you think you should be here? Or you come up with all these ideas, and those ideas be bright, great ideas, and they get shunned. Or if you have an idea and they say, no, we won't use it, and then the next week they're using the idea because they would have come up with something that you've already said, you really have to make a decision of what you're going to do. Are you going to stay there with the mask on to make the paycheck, or are you going to leave? But I will say, all organizations, companies, DEI, it's a journey, and everybody is on a different journey. Right. What I would say is inclusion is not a word. It's not It's not just a word that you write down as a statement to place on your website to make it look all pretty and inclusive. It's everything that you do, from retention to hiring to attracting. Right. And so what I would say to any organization is your organization would just be so much better if you did include, different voices, experiences to the table, even in leadership. Maybe they don't look like you, maybe they don't speak like you, but they still have some experiences that could move the needle in the organization.
Yeah.
And so it would take a very transparent leader to, hey, well, let's talk about the data. Let's really talk about this elephant in the room and and break it down. But know that you will be ridiculed, because most people aren't doing that. They're just breezing it over.
Right.
And so I would just encourage them to understand it's not a statement. It's not a DEI statement. It is truly understanding the talent that you have in your organization, in your company, and really leveraging it based on the mission and the vision of your organization, and know that that mission cannot be achieved from a one-sided approach or from one vantage point.
Right.
Well, and it goes back to the data. If you look at the data, the more inclusive an organization is, the more successful they are in every metric. Otherwise, they're doing things through one lens, and we know what lens they're looking for.
If that's what they want, if they want to include, we're talking about organizations. If you want to be inclusive or you don't, because private companies, they can do what they want to do. It's a private company, right? We're talking about government serving the people. You're talking about my tax dollars, your tax dollars. No, we do have a say so, right? And so, so we can look at being inclusive two different ways, right? From a private standpoint and then from a public standpoint. But you just get a better outcome when everyone is included.
Well, you also get innovation when you have typically companies, and we can talk about some of the big ones who are no longer in existence anymore. They just kept at the same formula. I mean, you can look at a Sears or a Kmart or a Blockbuster or a Circuit City or TWA or some. If you keep the same, like it was for a time, but if you don't evolve because your customers are different and take ideas that are different, and the people who you're serving are different, if they're not included in it, you will go bankrupt. Correct. You will no longer exist. So there is something about shifting in an organization to as the world shifts, as ideas shift, as people shift. I think the level of shifting we see now that's happening feels like going backwards, feels like the stripping of rights.
Feels,
yes,
right.
And is depending on who you are. Some folks are like, yeah, maybe. Others, it is fully impacting them, right? So it could be people's perceptions based on what it does for them personally or not. And so I think this type of shift we're talking about now is very personal.
It is personal.
And that leads to sort of this humanity you talked about earlier, like the humanness around shifting. So you talked about your own ways in which you've dealt with shifts, right? Some of them have left you on death's door, and others have brought you out like a phoenix, right, from the ashes. So how do you think those experiences shape the way you help others move through a shifting?
It's really everything, because those experiences do give you that empathetic compass to know where someone is and where they need to go, and not just from a working with an individual or a team, you have organizations with a culture, right? You know, you go into an organization with, consulting, and this is where we've been, and this is what we've done for the past 30 years. And you know what I mean? So you really have to understand, where they are as either a team or an organization culture to know where they need to go. And really think about their experiences that have influenced their thought process of leading that team or leading that organization, and understanding how to shift through that. I mean, sift through that.
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Sift the shift.
Yeah. Because I mean, sometimes people really don't understand, or they have their own biases. They're or scared. Well, if I say this about Dr. Washington Bass's locks, do I offend? But if you have started to develop a relationship with people, that I believe that's really key, is that relationship piece.
Yeah, and we're starving for it. I think, when you can make decisions that affects people's livelihoods and you don't even blink, it's like, how are you not seeing? At that point, I realized, we are widgets. We're caught in a cog of productivity and, bottom lines. I don't know if you ever watch on TikTok, Erin, she is the McManagement.
I haven't seen that one.
She plays a role.
She plays a role of the manager of McManagement. And she talks about the deliverables. I mean, she's just like, I know you are, doing this and doing that, but that's great. But make sure you have the deliverables. I know that you're going to be dying, but if you have the deliverables in by tomorrow, you then can go die and live your happy life. I mean, she
focus on a product, like forget what they're experiencing,
correct,
what they understand, what they know, or what they don't understand. Just give me the results.
Yeah.
Give me the results.
And then you can see how you can just literally let go of people.
You can.
And then thousands of people let go. Now, I understand that there's business models. I'm not talking about, when you have to really be lean, but just I'm just let go. And then boast and brag that you had a surplus or billions of dollars in revenue, and you let go the people who actually brought you the revenue.
Yep.
And so I think even right now, as we're thinking about how people make these decisions that have impact livelihoods, I also want to think on the other side. So I'm on the other end of that. I've been impacted. Do I use this as an opportunity? Is this a blessing in disguise? And what do we do with it? I mean, that's a loaded question. I mean,
just think of the conversation that we're having now. I mean, I'm not the only one that's shifting around here. You know what I mean? Y'all over there shifting too.
Sure.
Right. So we're taking this experience and putting it on the table to inspire others to embrace what you're experiencing to make a shift. I truly do believe a lot of what's going on, I mean, from a very spiritual perspective, a lot of what's going on is not just to us, but it's also for us as well.
Talk more. I
got a whole white person and I got a whole black person as a part of a team. What Kelly understands about her privilege and all of that, right? She understands that. And so, hey, with you, Dr. Kendra, this is what I'm trying to achieve. So now you all put it together, right? And so just understanding that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Kelly and I, we've been called unicorns, I guess.
It was an opportunity.
Right. It is. People can be really critical about our relationship if they don't know us, but people who know us understand what we individually had to do and what we're doing collectively as a white woman and a black woman in this time division and in this time of fear and mistrust.
So what you all experienced, you all took it, and now you are a model. You're really modeling for other couples, teams, you know,
Yep.
that can get together, regardless of their race. And it could be the same race. There's still, you know, differences even with the, you know, the same race. But the point is, you took your experiences, put them together, and you used it as an opportunity. Your gifts, your talents, your strengths, privilege, under resource, you know, put it all together and create something beautiful and productive and purposeful.
Yeah. Oh,
I just encourage, you know, all of us and everybody that's watching. It's so easy for us to wake up every morning. Do I look on the news and see what's going on and get boggled down that? Or do I glance at it? Hey, this is what's going on in the world, but this is what I can do as a person. These are the strengths that I can do. Hey, I know John, he's great at this, and this is what we can do collectively.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
I think that's one of the beautiful things that can emerge from these unprecedented times.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, in my community, meaning my white community, what has shifted is it's happening to us now, where we didn't have to organize like we did before. We didn't have to. We watched, you know, other groups and now that it happens to us, our huge seismic shift is we have to be on the streets. You all stay home. We have to be supporting the candidates. We have to, and I've gotten super involved in my community. And, you know, one of the first things I did for my political action group is I led them through a training on how Black women organize. Because they're the best at it. And so we had to look at, you know, you stay local, you focus on your community. What you just said, Kendra, people need rent, you have rent parties. People need food, I mean, we live around all these farms. You know, let's get the farmers together. People need, so there's a huge seismic shift happening within the white community, my community. And that's, I think, long range, that's a good thing to happen. And hopefully at the end of it, we'll never take our privilege, you know, that we had, take it for granted or do what we have to do, that we share that and we deconstruct that. So when this big shift kind of happens, and this goes to Kendra and I, one of the things I'll often say when we keynote is, you know, this doesn't mean that everybody needs to go out and find themselves a Black woman and then, you know, you just become friends and partners and stuff. You got some work to do before that.
Work to do.
So when that shift happens, you got to shift inside first, and you got to do deconstructing, you know, first. And once you do, and that's lifelong. That doesn't mean you just read and you're good. That means you have to. That's lifelong, and you have to be able to take feedback, and you have to be able to, as you do that. So, you know, and having said that, can you talk to us about a time personally or professionally that something that maybe you had to release, something you needed to, so let's redefine this shift as you had to let go of something, you had to release something to make room for something new.
Ooh. Think of it as fall, like what leaves you had to shake off of your tree.
Okay, well, I'm a Virgo. Let's just say that.
There it is.
I'm a Virgo, and very often, you know, we look for those external validation. You know, we're looking for people to say, you know, great job, because very often we say, well, did I do a good job? You know, like if I just had that one person to say, come on, go row, you know, I'm like, whoo, okay. I had to let that go.
Oh.
I had to let that go. And I had to become my own cheerleader.
Oh.
I had to. Because what if those people aren't there? What if those external factors are not there that's going to support me and give me a pat on the back? You know, I've had to learn how to just love myself real good. right? Because when I wake up, it's just me. When I go to sleep, it's just me. When I'm driving, it's just me. When I'm thinking about doing something new, it's me. And the source, that powerful source, is in me from him. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Now there'll be the recipients of that, yes, but I had to get in tune and align with my source, my power, God, for me to really become who you're looking at right now. And so, Kelly, when you asked me earlier, like, what are some things that you do, in your profession, in these times, you recognize who's out here doing the work. And so if the issue are, race and class and, trying to keep the poor and the rich, well, there's a whole couple out there that I know that's doing this work in ed leadership, Dr. Kendra Washington Bass and Kelly Peaks Horner. Highlight them, show the world that this is leadership. This is collectively, this is the type of leadership that we need in schools. These are the types of consultants we need in working with leaders. That's what inspired me to honor you both with the Dream Leadership Award last month, right? So it's really being intentional on what you do in these times and highlight, because we could say the whole world is just all jacked up, right? I mean, a lot of parts of it is, but there's so much that's not, and there's so many people that are not, that are choosing to have these kinds of conversations on and off the screen.
Yeah,
right. I truly do believe that we need to hone in on that and keep this show going and inspire others to have shows like this, so they can be inspired.
You made the quote gives me goosebumps every time, and that is, plant a tree that you will never sit under.
Yeah. Yeah. The
and also keep yourself watered.
Oh, for sure. No, exactly.
Oh, yeah. as well, because that's something that I needed to relinquish as well. I'm so into loving on other people. I am. I just love making somebody else's day, to the point where I didn't even quite understand how can my day be made.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's time and there are experiences that you acquire to know what you need. So I've learned the things that I need in my life to keep me going.
Yeah.
Hard lesson.
Yeah. Well, and I think, one of the things that resonated with what you said, even a few moments back, was raised just this past weekend with a group of women that I was with. And that is creating our own this idea of creating our own ecosystem. And that is, to your point earlier about being unwrapped. What are the gifts that we have that we can be sharing right now as people are going through it? What is the gift that we can be giving to people as we also are reimagining who we are, or maybe unwrapping and being who we are finally, like taking a breath, and being as real as you can be in these moments. I think you're right. I mean, we've had to pivot. You've had to pivot, and yet our work still needs to be done. Students still need to have really great teachers and great schools and great leadership, and that doesn't happen without really good development and coaching and support. And so both the Dream Education Consultant and Lucy Leadership Project are out there still trying to provide these services.
Absolutely.
Folks, right? And yes, we had to make shifts, right? There's certain tracks of our work that we had to kind of pivot around. However, I'm going to say it, Dr. Rell, 30 years of experience.
I can't stand you.
Listen, I'm right in there with you.
Tired.
I'm 31 years in.
Really? So that means you're older.
Yes. Okay, I'll take it. 1994.
All right, don't talk about me.
Okay, I'm not even gonna bring you in there, Kelly.
I got about 9 years on both of you.
Almost 40 years of experience here. we're not monoliths in what we know how to do. And so I say, and I want to give you this last word about a message about what it means to shift and some advice for women. But I would just say constantly or always continue to pour into yourself and learn. Don't ever stop gaining more knowledge and skills in what you can do, because you'll need it. Like, I am all in AI right now. Like, I'm in, getting courses and watching things and playing around with that, because the robots are not going to replace humans, but the humans are going to be able to create the codes in order for the robots and the AIs to do what they do. So if you're not really good at that, you need to start getting into tech, right? And AI. So, jump into those things, and also just keep your facilitation, your workshop, your speaking sharp. Know your stuff, know it well, and also be amenable to helping people who need something a little bit different. So that's my little spiel about like how I think about shifting, but how to keep, for us to keep us sharp and relevant. Dr. Rowe, we got 1 minute. What advice would you want to give? Not just, so there are men and women that are on here.
Oh, really? Hey, you guys, thank you for joining.
There are men and women, as I can see from some pictures. But what's one message you want people to walk away with about this idea of shifting? And the last thing would be like how people can stay connected with you. So you get to plug yourself and your company at this point. But what would be some advice?
I would say for you to understand it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be bumpy. In leadership, it's bumpy. The road, can twist and turn. Just understand who you are. I don't know who said this. I don't know if I'm about to make this up or not, but I always like to look at the rear view mirror being small because all you're doing is just glancing back. But you have a windshield that's in front of you that gives you a panoramic view of everything that's ahead of you. Stay healthy. Stay joyful. Pour into yourself. Feed yourself well. There's you can't lead with toxicity around you. And give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. This space that we're in, these unprecedented times right now, is new for all of us. Right. It is. And so now is the time to just truly understand what your gifts are, and do not keep that present wrapped. Don't keep it wrapped. Unwrap it and go for it, and not look for necessarily external validation to keep you going. And everything that you need on your journey, it resides right in you. You just got to let it out and unleash it.
Ooh wee. I know. I was like, where's the emojis? I don't think they do it on LinkedIn. I need some emojis. So how can people get in contact with you if they want some of this love, if they want some Dr. Rowe, more Dr. Rowe time? How do people follow you, get in contact with you for your services?
Yes. You all, thank you so much for joining again. You can reach me at consultdream.com. My email address is Dr. Rowe, and that's DRRO at consultdream.com. We have a Facebook page as well, consultdream.com. But I would be happy to work with you and your team on this journey of inclusivity, understanding the shift. Sometimes we don't even know that it's a blessing to shift. It's not all bad, right? Even for organizations, Dream has to shift. We're shifting. We've been shifting. Lucy Leadership Project shifting, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so don't buy into the negative connotation of shift. It's all good. It's all positive, and it's an opportunity really for you to become a better human being.
All right. That is fantastic. So
Well,
we have one final question for you.
Yes.
In one word, how would you describe your shift right now?
Ooh, empowering.
oh,
There it is. Empowering.
Empowering.
love it.
Dr. Rowe, thank you
Thank you.
so much for this timely conversation, this dose of encouragement,
Thank you.
especially while we're on the cusp of some additional seismic shifts that might be happening for millions of people across the country, to kind of stay the course, to be joyous, to get yourself, surrounded by people about love. Maybe this shift needs to happen for you to reinvent yourself. And we're always shifting, right? This is nothing new. It's just a different type of shift at this point. So thank you so much. You got lots and lots of love
Thank you.
inside the chat. People are, and this person says right here, my grace is sufficient. Look at that.
Yes.
Great.
Yes,
That's a
it is. It
great
is.
way to end. So you all, if you want to check out Dr. Rowe, again, Dream Education Consulting, you can just Google her, check her out on LinkedIn. You can really find lots of things she does in LinkedIn. And also want to plug that you do a lot of things for teens.
Yes, yes. We have I Thrive. Our I Thrive Empowered Minds program supports youth and teens with their mental health, mental health and leadership development.
Yeah.
Because when you think about leadership, your mental health, your mental got to be in check. You know what I mean? If you're leading. And so we don't want our youth to wait to become my age to start with their own development. We can inspire them too, because now more than ever, what we're experiencing right now, we need our kids to become great leaders, because what we're experiencing right now, the outcome is going to linger for decades because of what we're experiencing.
Right.
And they're gonna have to come up and fix that. And so they're gonna have those synthetic minds. They're gonna have a strong, resilient mind, and they're gonna have to be, very strategic leaders as well.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure we plug that, because I want folks to understand that you also work with teens.
Yes,
and that's critical in terms of leadership development as well.
Yeah, so head over and check me out. I would love to have a conversation to see how I can support you.
That's fantastic. And we're just going to leave with anyone who is interested. Oh, no, I did not want that in front of your face. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. 14.99, get that book.
That's right. 14.
We're all in this together.
That's right. So yes, if you have yet to get your copy of Unwrapped, you can get it right here on the screen with a QR code. You can take your phone or take a picture. I would recommend that you purchase our book on our website, LucyLeadershipProject.com. Thank you. Someone just scanned the QR code. Appreciate you very much. Get your copy. And if you are also interested in having both Kelly and I do some work with you and your team, we are available. You can check out our services on our website. We really want you to take advantage of what Dr. Rowe has to offer. So if there's something, a combination, maybe you want both of us. We can make it happen. What a partnership that would be.
And for those of you all that are watching or watching the replay, these two, the Lucy Leadership Project, they were featured presenters at our conference on steroids, which is called the Experience for Women in Leadership. And I believe one of the viewers said, Dr. Rowe, you connect with other leaders that are doing the same thing, and you don't feel intimidated. I'm like, there are millions of kids that need our support, and principals and school districts, and we can't do it alone, right?
That's right.
When we get major contracts, my very small team, sometimes we can't do it alone, and so that's why I always stay connected to make the people like you all to help help do this work.
Absolutely. Or somebody, if it's not in our wheelhouse, we're not going to take on something, it's for the sake of kids. So we'll always think, oh, we know somebody who will be perfect that can help support you. And so we
Yeah.
always want to keep those. This is the ecosystem we're talking about. This
Right.
is how you thrive in the shift. You
Mhm.
lean on each other and each other's talents and skills. You pull those resources and support each other's businesses in that way.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
thanks again, Dr. Rowe. This has been
Thank you.
fantastic. You
Yes.
all can
I'm
see
so
this.
glad I was able to make it after that drive.
Me
This
too.
is-
Now,
I'm so glad you.
listen, we drove from California to Dallas. I told Dr. Kendra, I said, okay, I'm coming on at 5:55. I ended up in my home office at 5:41.
Oh my goodness! And look at you, looking fabulous.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's just you got that.
Little
That's-
top hat.
That's okay. That's why I say
That's all we need. That's all we
that's
need.
what you need from here up. Thank you, Zoom, and thank you,
Yep.
Restream. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy, be safe, and be well.